What's up everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Stardew Valley Saturday. I appreciate you guys being here so much. I'm loving doing this series and talking about one of my favorite games of all time, so I hope you guys are finding these tips beneficial. Just as a reminder, if you want to be entered for my giveaway, which I'll be giving away at 150 subscribers, it's a $50 digital code to either Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam, and you could win by entering. All you have to do is like this video, comment, and make sure you're a subscriber. We're going to talk about 5 tips for ending your first spring. You might be thinking, why are you making a video about a season ending? Listen, season endings can be kind of stressful. There's a lot that you want to do to try to get ready for the next season, but as always, Stardew Valley doesn't require you to do anything at all. It doesn't punish you for anything. These are just tips that I came up with to help me go into the next season. So the first tip we're going to talk about for ending your first spring is going to be simply just starting to think about this no later than spring day 15. I know that seems fast, but if you're planting cauliflower, they take 12 days to grow. All plants must be fully grown and picked by spring 28. Therefore, you want to make sure that you've planted your last crops by spring 15 and calculate down from there. Potatoes are 6 days, so spring 22 would be the last day possible to plant potatoes. So it might seem like there's some math here. Grab a calculator if you need to. Nobody's going to judge you here. But make sure that you're paying attention to when you plant plants towards the end of spring or any other season. Because if not, you will lose those plants when the new season starts. They will all be dead. And that's a lot of money invested to be lost. It's better if you have to have like a day or two where you don't have any plants left than to waste money growing something that's not going to be grown in time. So my tip here is just to start getting ready for the season to end about halfway through the season that you're currently in. Just start thinking about it and planning for it. Step number 2, or tip number 2, is to prepare. If you're like me and plan to be more organized for your next season, you'll want to make sure you have enough resources to build paths, fences, or whatever you use to organize your plants for the next season. You will need to cut down trees for sap, for fertilizer, to start stacking up on that early. Sometimes we forget that we need to use fertilizer when growing plants, but it's so important, and the way that we do that, for the most part, is by using sap. So you want to make sure that you're cutting down enough trees and everything so that you can use fertilizer for the upcoming season. Other resources, such as stone, are helpful too if you want to build paths or however you want to organize your farm. I don't really start doing fences and paths and stuff until my second year, but this is completely up to you. When I play Stardew Valley, I tend to use my first year as my most profitable year, and then after that, obviously I'm still making more money, but then I try to do more aesthetic things. But really, like I said before, this game doesn't punish you for anything, so you can play however you want. If organization by fences and paths, etc. is something that you want for your second season, year 1, then you're going to want to start planning for that ahead of time before the season ends. Tip number 3 is to save some money. Once you're getting to the last couple days of spring, you'll want to start investing in plants for the next season. You can't buy them yet, but you want to start saving for summer crops. So we're not going to be putting money into spring crops anymore. So we're going to want to start saving our money. You don't want to upgrade tools and things like that. You want to save money to be able to get enough seeds to start out your next summer. Or whatever season is coming up for you. But again, think back to what I keep saying. Stardew Valley doesn't punish you for anything. It's just if you're trying to make your first year profitable, obviously you're going to want to get as many seeds as you can. And you're going to want to plant them day 1 of that season, so that you have enough time to keep planting more to make more. Tip number 4 is make sure that you get your fishing in. Now, some fish are only available during certain seasons, so if you're achievement hunting or you need certain fish for different things or you just want to see what you can catch, you want to make sure that you look to see what seasons which fish are when. There's a really nice wiki available for Stardew Valley, and there's nothing wrong with using that. There's also a community guide that you can buy online. I have yet to do that. I really want to, and I need to do that soon. This video is reminding me to do that. If any of you all have it, feel free to DM me a picture of it on Instagram and I'll post it on my story, because those are so cool. So for that tip, it's just talking about get your fishing in before the season ends so you don't miss any of those seasonal fish. And our last tip, tip number 5, is think about what you want to improve on in your next season. Take note of what you want to do different when spring starts, year 2. What I mean by this is, for example, in my first season, spring 1, I wasn't very organized. I wanted to plant more cauliflower than potatoes, but I didn't plant them in time. Things like that are things that I would think about that I want to do for my next spring coming year 2. People get stuck on what's most profitable, but you will get bored if you just focus on that. Trust me, I've done it. I have ruined one of my most profitable farms because it just felt like a chore because that's all I focused on. My new theory on this game is to use my year 1 for profit so that I don't have to worry about money very much, but in this game, you don't really have to worry about it that much anyway. Those are all the tips for you I have this Saturday. Let me know down below, what do you like to do for year 1 and year 2, year 3, etc. Do you do the whole thing as creativity and aesthetics? Are you more profitable? What kind of Stardew Valley player are you? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday.